Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here today. A couple of weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, I was in Shreveport. That's Louisiana, for those of you that don't know, but most of you do know, I think. For the Bassmaster Classic, we were there with the Alabama Mountain Lakes Tourist Association. We were exhibiting Neely Henry and Gadsden, our new fishing brochure, and there's about 150 crazy fishermen descended upon Shreveport for the Bassmaster Classic. It's the biggest bass fishing tournament in the world. And I was in our booth, and Kay was kind of talking to me, Kay Donaldson, Director of Marketing with Alabama Mountain Lakes, and she was kind of looking past my shoulder at something. And it was kind of a lull in the morning there, and all of a sudden her eyes got really big and wide, and you know, she just like, you know, if you've known her, she's a pretty exuberant, kind of a loud lady. And she's, oh my God! You know, and running out of the booth, and out of the corner of my eye came this whizzing machine and swung to a stop, and Kay grabbed it. It was Clay Dyer, who's going to be our guest speaker this morning. And I was like, what the hell? And so, you know, he had a couple of his friends with him, and a couple of Kay's friends came up. Pretty soon there was this gaggle of people over there just hemming and hawing, laughing and talking. Going to town, and I was just, you know, I was working in the booth and talking to people, and they finally all kind of headed off, and Kay came back, and she was tired out and said, who's that? She was Clay Dyer. I said, Clay Dyer? I said, yeah. She was, you're a professional angler. And I said, you're kidding me. She said, no. And I said, oh my God. And so she started telling me a little bit about Clay. And, you know, I was very intrigued, and I got back to Gadsden, you know, and Kay, you know, sent me an email about the annual dinner, and Clay Dyer was the speaker. And I said, no, wait, Clay Dyer, the fisherman? And she goes, yes. I said, I just met him. Well, kind of met him. I have to work on Kay and her people skills. But, you know, I said, she goes, would you like to introduce him? And I said, absolutely, I would love to. So, you know, I did a little bit of work, and I talked to his management company. I called Clay, and I talked to him a little bit. And was just really thrilled to be able to be here this morning to do this. And I was looking through, and I found some videos. There's a lot of video out there on Clay. And there's a really good one that ESPN did. It's on YouTube, and I really encourage you to go watch it. And it tells you a little bit about his life as a youngster. And I was thinking about playing it, but you know, I was crying most of the way through the video, so I figured it would not be appropriate for me to be up here doing that for you all. It's very, very, very invigorating, though. Clay was born early. He was born with what some people might qualify as handicaps. He has no lower limbs, no left arm, and only a partial right arm. Yet this young man never once began to think about the resources he didn't have. He purely focused on the resources that he does have. And I think that that's a lesson that a lot of us learn sometime in business school maybe, or maybe in real life. But a lot of people tend to look at it the wrong way. The glass is half full. I don't have this. If only we had this, we could achieve this. And what Clay does is he's totally opposite. Clay is all about what I do have. And I'm not going to tell you his whole speech and everything up here, but he has 3 things that some of us don't have. And 3 things that we all can aspire to. And he'll tell you what those 3 things are. But the main thing about Clay is he's been able to go out there. He's played basketball when he was younger with his older brother. He's thrown frisbees. He's played baseball. He's not let anything slow him down. He fished for over 4 years on the FLW Bass Tour, which is just a step below the Bass Open Tour. He's won over 25 tournaments. He is just a dynamic person. He does everything that he needs to do to fish with his partial arm and his tongue. He can tie lures with his tongue in the way that Lisa Osborne can tie cherries. I mean, he can do things. There's all kinds of knots in fishing that you got to be able to do, and he can do all those things. So, anyway, he also has appeared on TV in numerous occasions, just about every outdoor show, ESPN versus Fox, many bass shows. He's well known, well thought of throughout the Professional Bass Anglers Association, and it would do me no better than proud to be able to ask Clay to come up here today and speak for us for a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm glad you're all awake. I'm so half asleep. I'm just kidding. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to be here this morning. I thank y'all for asking me over here. I want to thank everybody who tried to work with me on my schedule. That was a big thing. I know Miss Kay Moore and my mother, and between her and my mother, my business manager, we were all trying to put together the schedule to make it work. And My mother called me when I was on the way in off the road yesterday, and I went to pick up my tour boat this year. I'm going to be competing out of, trying to rig it up, and I'm in the back of the shop yesterday. We're hammering and banging and knocking and drilling and everything else. And mother called, and she was trying to tell me about the day, and I heard like half of it and half of it didn't. I was like, call me back tonight and all this. So she was kind of giving me a little insight as to who would be here this morning, and it's a great honor and privilege for me to be here. I actually, as Hugh was sharing with you, being a professional angler, I actually kind of got my start in my career, so to say, right here in Gadsden on Lily Henry Lake. I fished quite a few tournaments on the Coosa River chain early on in my career. Now, I really wish the national tours that I'm on now would actually come back to the Coosa River chain more. For some reason, they choose to go to some of these other places and everything, and I'm like, we got some great fishing, let's go to Alabama. But anyway, they carried some great places, and I was honored and privileged to get my start kind of here in Gadsden and fish several tournaments early in my career here. This area is an awesome area, and I want to say a special thank you to all the support that I've had in my career, just from mainly, state of Alabama. I've lived in Alabama my whole life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Alabama's home to me, and when I'm going to other places, people are like, well, man, you traveled all over the place. When I come to Alabama, they're like, man, we hate to drive across the state. And I'm like, look, as many miles as I go a year going across the state, it's like running to the store for me, so I don't think anything about it. But, it's everybody always asks me, say, how do you become a professional angler? Well, how many of you have ever seen the show Swamp People on TV? It's got the alligator hunters. Well, they actually invited me on to film a couple of pilot episodes of that show, and you see what the gators did to me. After I went out and tried to film a couple of shows for Swamp People, I realized, hey, I'm going to retire from this. I was getting down to having half an arm left, and I was running out of extremities quick. And I thought, well, somebody could do something I can do easy. So I decided to go be a professional angler. But, I've fished for years and years and years, and it's just, I've always been an avid outdoorsman. I've always loved to hunt, fish, play sports. When you're from the country like I've been from my whole life, there's not a whole lot to do over there. I'm very proud of my hometown of Hamilton, Alabama. I've been there my whole life, and I've been there some 34 years now. But over there, you don't have just a whole lot as far as recreation goes. You kind of make your own games and stuff like that. But hey, it's all good. But what I want to share with you this morning, I feel like the philosophy base that I live my life under is something that everybody can take away from and take something positive away and be able to be successful from it. I know part of life is life throws you obstacles, it throws you adversity. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter who you are, you get adversity thrown at you from time to time. Being born like I was born, a lot of people have looked at me and said, Clay, are you mad, or you ever been mad at God for being born that way? And I said, no. I said, honestly, if I had a chance to be physically born again and have all the extremities and the limbs, I wouldn't take it. And I've had opportunities to go get prosthesis and everything fitted. When I tried those early on, they seemed like they actually slowed me down. And if I seem like I'm fidgeting or moving a lot, I'm used to walking when I'm speaking, and I'm in this chair. And so if I'm moving and rocking a lot, I'm not nervous at all. I'm just I'm real high energy, and I'm usually hyper as all get out. My friends tell me I look like a rat on crack half the time. But that's just the way I am. I'm full of energy, and I'm 100 miles an hour all the time. And you ask my mom, she can attest to that. But as I was telling you, being born like this was something I never let it hold me back. I remember when I was real young, I asked my mom and dad, probably when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I asked them one day, I said, Mom, Dad, why did God make me this way? And I remember they looked at me and they said, well, I don't know exactly why God made you the way he did, but what I do know is this, and that is God doesn't make mistakes. And it took me, a long time to really kind of figure that out. But I feel very blessed in the fact that I get to live my dream and doing what I love to do. A lot of kids, a lot of adults even have dreams still that they want to turn into reality and they want to be able to do one day, maybe when they retire. And when I'm traveling all across the country, sharing with young people in high schools or wherever, churches, wherever it may be, I always try to share this same philosophy with them. And I say, look, you've all got dreams. I had dreams of being a professional athlete. And when I was growing up, thinking about those dreams, did I realistically think I was going to get drafted and play in the NBA? Probably not. But so what? No big deal. Did I think I was going to get drafted and play in the NFL and be a running back or a linebacker? Probably not. But hey, I didn't let that stop me from being what I wanted to be. I coach kickers in our local high school, and I'm probably the only no-legged kicking coach in America. But hey, it's amazing what prayer can do, I tell you. But God has sure led me some great athletes to kick for me. But the fact that I get to live my dream of being a professional angler, I think the word dream in general everybody can benefit from living their life according to what I'm fixing to share with you. And to me, living the dream is all about, basically the letters of dream are D-R-E-A-M. Can't even spell it this morning. But D-R-E-A-M. And basically there's 5 different philosophies in the word dream that mean a lot to me, that have been my philosophy for life. And that's what I want to share with you this morning. To me, everybody, whether you're young or whether you're fixing to retire, if you're trying to start into retirement or you're trying to start into your career, whatever the case may be, everybody has to have a starting spot. I saw a sign the other day that to me made all the sense in the world, and it said that every expert was once a beginner. And when I saw that, I thought, that's true. Kobe Bryant didn't become a great basketball player overnight. Drew Brees didn't become a great NFL quarterback overnight. It takes progression, it takes learning, it takes experience, and it takes a lot of different things going together to get better. And a great starting spot to me, in anything you want to do, is determination, and that's what determination is to me in the letter D. It stands for determination. And to me, determination is basically about 3 words. It's about never giving up. Because every day of life, you're going to get thrown some kind of adversity. It may be, whatever the adversity may be, you're going to get some kind of adversity thrown your way. And you've got to be able to have enough determination and have the attitude that you're never going to give up and never going to lay down in order to defeat that adversity, to be able to get past it, to be successful, to not let it slow you down. And that's basically why I've started that my whole life. It didn't matter what adversity or what obstacle jumped up in my path and me pursuing my dream and doing what I wanted to do. I was going to make sure I had enough determination that whatever that adversity was, I was going to defeat it, knock it down, and not let it stop me and hold me back. And when I always think about determination, the very next thing that comes to my mind, being that it's the letter R, is resources. And resources to me is just like, I think Hugh was sharing a while ago about not focusing on resources that you're missing, but focusing on the resources you have. I see so many people in this world today that come up and they want to say, well, I can't do this because I don't have this, or I can't do that because I don't have that. And people want to use the excuse can't before they want to put forth the effort to try to do something. And regardless of what it is in life, I'll promise you, if you want to make excuses and sit around all day and feel sorry for yourself, I hate to tell you, but you're not going to get anywhere in life. If you want to focus on what's missing and say, and dwell on what's missing, you're not going to be very successful. I very easily, as a professional angler, when I was watching it on TV and everything and trying to figure out how to become a professional angler and seeing all the things professional anglers had to do, I could very easily look at that and say, you know what, I don't have hands, I don't have fingers, I don't have legs. I could have made a lot of excuses for myself, and I said no. I said I'm not going to. I went and got the same equipment, and I was bound and determined that I wasn't going to use any special equipment because I wanted to be able to compete at the top level. And to be able to compete at the top level, I had to do it just like everybody else done it. They couldn't make special arrangements for me to be able to compete just because I wanted to be up there and just because I was missing extremities. So therefore, I had to figure out how to do it. I'm very blessed. I've got some great sponsors on my team, Ranger Boats, Mercury Outboards, Lowrance Electronics, and GPS. And I won't get into all the different companies, but Strike King Lures, they've been with me since day one of my career. They've been with me going on 16 years now. And I'm very blessed to have some great equipment and great sponsors that help me live my dream. And due to their equipment being so great, I don't have to worry about having any special adaptations or modifications, to go out there and fish for a living and compete against the best guys in the world and live my dream. And therefore, I focus on what I have, which is a heart and mind and soul, to be able to figure out how to overcome whatever adversity hits me to get to be successful. And when I think about resources and everything, the very next thing that always comes to my mind in E is effort. And effort is all about, it doesn't matter what you do, who you are, what you may do in your life, what your career is. Effort is something, and if you don't give effort each and every day, you're not going to be successful. In coaching, that's one of the biggest things that I get aggravated at my players, is I tell them each and every day of practice, we preach on attitude and effort. And effort is one of those things where if you give me effort, 100% effort, and I tell my players, hey, if you miss a block, if you miss a tackle, but you're giving me effort, I can live with it if you're giving me effort. If you're not giving me effort, you ain't going to be on the field for me. That's just the way it is. And effort is one of those things to me that it doesn't matter how tired you are each and every day. If you can put forth 110% effort and you can dig down a little deeper inside and find that effort that you need each and every day, you can't help but be successful. Sorry about my voice and everything. I've been speaking a whole lot last couple of weeks. I've been battling the cold this week, so if I'm hacking and coughing up here, if I cough along, y'all just hang on to it. When I get done, I don't need legs, so I don't need a lung either, so if I cough it out, I'm hold on to it. But, when I think about determination and never giving up and having enough determination to get through whatever adversity hits you, and I think about resources, one thing I actually forgot to share with you with resources is something that's very important to me. And if it wasn't for this resource, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And that main resource is my faith in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I was saved when I was 18 years old, and it was the best decision that I've ever made, bar none, period. And Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And Christ is who gives me my strength each and every day to fight through whatever adversity faces me. I know with God being on my team and God being behind me, pushing me, there's no adversity that can't be overcome. Because He's one that guides me and leads me and gives me the strength to live through each day. And when I always think about all the different things that go into being successful and try to be a champion in life and start with determination and focusing on the resources that you have and applying high levels of effort each and every day to be successful, one of the last things I always think about in A is attitude. And attitude is something I can get down on now. You come up to me with a poor, pitiful attitude of feeling sorry for yourself and everything else, one or two things is going to happen. I'm either going to show you how to get the right attitude or you're going to get out of my face because I ain't going to put up with it. If you come up to me with a bad attitude, see what happens. Attitude is one of those things that to me, this is the way I look at attitude. Each and every day you wake up, whether you realize it or not, you basically have two choices. You may have thousands of choices you literally make during the day, but you have two choices and one decision every day when you wake up. You have the choice and the decision when you wake up. Are you going to feel sorry for yourself? Are you going to whine and complain about the things that aren't perfect in your world? Are you going to make excuses about everything and say, why can't I do this or why can't I do that? Are you going to wake up every day? And I hope and I pray that you wake up every day and you say to yourself, hey, it doesn't matter what hits me today. It doesn't matter what adversity I face today. I'm going to keep my head up. I'm going to keep a smile on my face. And I'm going to be positive. And I'm going to have a champion attitude. And I'm going to go be a champion one day at a time. Each and every day out there when I'm competing against the best anglers in the world or I'm out there sharing, there's lots of days when that alarm clock goes off in the morning that I'll tell you, I want to wake up, I want to grab my phone, I want to throw it through the wall. Because I'm wore out and I give out. When I woke up this morning, hey, I ain't going to lie to you people. I was give out, I was exhausted. But when I got up, after about 10 minutes, that hot water hit my back in that shower, I looked up and I said, thank you, Jesus. And I put it in fifth gear and I was just kind of rolling. That's just the way it is. And every day when I wake up, I want to wake up and have the attitude when I wake up that Satan and the devil says, oh God, his feet hit the floor, look out. That's the way I live my life. But attitude to me is all about having a positive mental winning attitude all the time. And no matter what hits you, you're going to decide that morning you're going to be a champion no matter what it is. You're not going to let anything hold you back. And the very last thing I want to share with you in closing is this. Everybody always wonders what M is. Well, M to me is motivation. I don't know what may motivate you. I don't know what that is. I hope I'm able to motivate you. But I can tell you this. Everybody asks me, Clay, when you go out there fishing and compete against the best guys in the world, what is it that motivates you to go out there to be wore out, exhausted, and tired, to go out there and practice, from daylight and dark when it's 20 degrees, the wind howling, and snowing, and everything else, or go out there when it's 95 degrees and my feet are getting blisters from standing on the front deck of my boat all day. What is it that motivates you? Is it the money? The money would be awesome. Considering I've never won a top-level national event, I don't even know what it's like. I want to know what it's like one day to walk in there with a $100,000 check or a $500,000 check or whatever. And I want to know what that's like. And I can tell you a funny little story to that. The first national check I ever received, I was in position to make the first cut of my career fishing the PAA tournament trail, which came here to Neely Henry 2 years ago. I actually competed in that event. And the very first tournament they ever had was on Lake Fork in Texas. It was the Texas Toyota Shootout. And they basically invited the 3 top national trails. They basically invited the top 60 from the top 2 trails in that tournament. I was honored and blessed enough to be one of the 120 they invited. And we go to that tournament. Well, lo and behold, I was in. They fished the first 2 days. They took the top 5 and fished for $250,000 the last day. I was in 5th place in that tournament. Me and my team were going in at the second day. The last guy to weigh in, who was actually rooming with me out there, who was David Dudley from Virginia, who has actually won over $4 million in his career. The Joker come in and had 1 ounce more than we did and knocked us out, knocked us in 6th place. But I ended up having a check for $9,000. Well, I really didn't care at that point in time. I mean, yeah, I would have loved to make the cut and been on CBS national television, been competing for $250,000. I come home with a check for $9,000. My lovely mother was at the house. She called me, tells me congratulations. She knows what I'm fixing to tell. She's like, dropped her head. I come home, I'm back in the driveway with the boat. She comes out there, opens the door of the truck, doesn't even hug me, doesn't say congratulations or nothing. She sees my check, or she sees this piece of paper hanging over the sun visor. She reaches up there and snatches it off. She said, "What's that?" I said, "My check from the tournament." She said, "Oh, I love you." Turn around and walks off. Well, back then she did the books for Motivational Concepts. You know who does the books now? Well, I told her that night, I said, the first check I bring home with 6 figures on it, I said, "I love you, but you ain't touching it." But what motivates me isn't the money. The money is great, and you got to have money to survive. That's not what motivates me. People say, well, Clay, is it been able to compete against the best guys in the world? Oh, trust me, I get fired up because I want to go beat the best guys in the world. I don't want somebody to look at me and say, hey, this guy's got no extremities, he's got no legs, a half arm. Hey, let's feel sorry for him. Let's give him a win. I don't want it that way. I want to be able to know at the end of the day that we've all went out there and that we've all gave it our best, and I'm fair and square beating whoever's in front of me, and I want to know that I've earned it, and that's the way I am. You want to know what motivates me? What motivates me to do what I do each and every day is when somebody comes to me and they say, Clay, I'm facing this certain adversity, I'm facing this certain obstacle. What would you do if you were facing this? When I'm able to encourage somebody, when I'm able to influence somebody to be able to overcome something, that's what makes my heart tick, and that's what makes me go each and every day. I don't know what adversity you might be facing or what obstacle you may be facing in your life this morning, but I hope and I pray that whatever it is that you will take this philosophy that I've shared with you and live in a dream and be able to apply it to your life and whatever you may be facing, and it'll help you to overcome whatever you may be facing or whatever you may face in the future. Because I promise you, you will take this and you'll take determination and never giving up and focusing on what resources you have and not saying I can't. And focusing on how to have the right mental attitude and giving a whole lot of effort, giving 110% effort each and every day, and being motivated, I'll promise you, you'll be successful. And the last thing in closing that I will share with you is this. I always add the S on the end of dreams. For this, I always get saved. I get to live, I've always dreamed of being a professional athlete, and I've had several dreams come true. And you know what S is to me? S is success. And you know what success is to me? When you get to live your dream and do what you do what you love doing, to me that means you're successful. Thank y'all so much, and God bless you. Thank you.